Namaste. So, good afternoon for all of you.
Good afternoon.
So we can start with the Dhanvantari chant. If you know the chant, you can chant along or you can just listen to it. Namami Dhanvantarim Adidevam Surasurer Vandita Pada Padmam Loke Chararu Bhayamrityunasham Dataramishyam Vividoshadhinam Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Okay, so one thing I would like to know, all of us are Ayurvedic doctors or do we have other stream doctors also?
I'm using herbal medicines, electrohomeopathy.
Okay. BHMS, okay. So I understand it's a mixed medical medical community. We have Ayurveda doctors, mostly maybe, and other streams also. Okay. So some of you may be practicing Nadi.
Yes.
Okay. Some of you have not yet started, right? I'm not so comfortable in the phone. Can you just give me 1 minute? Let me see whether I can log in through my laptop. Because in the phone, I cannot see you. Okay. Yeah. So let me first introduce what is Nadi Pariksha to you. And maybe before that, what is Ayurveda? Ayurveda is the science of life. So we must have heard the word Ayurveda connected to all the quathas and also all the treatments. But Ayurveda is much more diverse. It has 2 parts. One is the therapeutic part and one is the science of wellness. So the science of wellness help us to live a high quality life and also prevention of disease. And this is something which is coming up very extensively now. People are looking for living a life of better immunity and also better quality. So the science of wellness is having a lot of relevance now. You must have heard about Dinacharya, Ritucharya, and the nutritional science called Ahara Vidhi, even behavioral science, ethical regimen, Sadvrita. All that put together is called Swastavrita. Swastavrita means the science of wellness. Swasta means one who is healthy and everything about how to maintain health. That is one part of Ayurveda. And the second part of Ayurveda is all about therapeutics. Like, if someone fall ill, how to deal with that illness in a very intelligent way. So So this kinds of therapeutics or dealing with the diseases and the um, treatment part, everything starts with the of five elements. No? The whole Ayurveda science is based on the theory of five elements, the theory of the doshas. That is how the diseases are looked at. It is very different from the allopathic science or homeopathic science, whatever. If you ask what is the difference between the herbal medicine and Ayurveda, it is not only a science of using this herb for this disease. It has a strong foundation of three doshas, how it is balanced, how it is imbalanced, and if it imbalanced, how it become chronic imbalance, and after that, how the etiology, and then ultimately manifests the disease. Symptoms and complications. So it is a very, very different science. So that means diagnosis also calls for a different way. So there are many scientific techniques adapted to examine the patient. Among them, Nadi Pariksha has its own importance and value because of its multi-dimensional role in examining the patient and diagnosing the disease in various aspects. Has been there. It is widely being used since thousands of years for the imbalance of dosha and many we will. Nadi Pariksha is given very much importance. It is said, no, like without knowing the Nadi, the diagnosis or the treatment is not complete. That is how it is expressed. And Nadi Pariksha in India, you also must be knowing, it is being practiced in different areas in different way. There are different schools of thought. Like in South, where I had my education. So there it is mostly into the very subtle science of Nadi, and it is like no Agastya tradition of Nadi. And in the North Himalaya side, it is Ravan Nadi, which is practiced. And in some parts of India, like Pune and all, they base on Surya Chandra, like Nadis, the heating cooling system of the body. And some places like Calcutta and all, it is they practice the Mashai Nadi. So there are different schools of thought, and they have their own techniques. So I have been fortunate to go around and learn all these systems of Nadi. But here we have in Shri Shri Wellbeing, we practice, we have very systemized technique of practice, and also we have special systems which is based on, which is the foundation is meditation, like the techniques which is very intuitive, all that. So it is a complete system, I believe. Whatever is there, we share to the next generation. And this has been being practiced by all our Nadi doctors for so many years. And we have our own Nadi doctors here, right? Who are already practicing.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, who is there? Shubhaprada.
Yes,
there.
yes.
Want to share something just to inspire them?
Yeah, Nadi Pariksha is an ancient system of diagnosis of a disease. So it helps to know the root cause of the disease, like the vata, imbalance in the vata, pitta, the kapha. And it is non-invasive. No need to go for all the different tests and all. So by knowing the Nadi, we can assess the imbalance, and it is very easy to cure the imbalance in the early stages only. Yeah.
Okay, any experience you want to share? How did it help you?
Yeah, the initial stages of the disease only we can come to know. By knowing the imbalance, we can prevent the further pathogenesis of the disease. And also it helps to treat the physical and the emotional imbalances of a person. In many of the emotional imbalances patients, it is very helpful too.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, thank you. So it is said, no? Yata vinagata tandri sarvan ragan prabhasate tata hastakata nadi sarvan yogan prakasate. That means, no, a string instrument like veena, I can bring out all the melodies with only few strings. So similarly, the hastagada, the nadi in the three, with the three fingers, you can, it reveals all the diseases. So in Ayurveda, there is a patient-centric approach. No, it is not like the disease which you are treating, it is the person you are treating. So the diagnostic process involves assessment of several parameters, subjective, objective parameters pertaining to the disease as well as the patient. So there's a, so that's why, like doctor was mentioning, even in patients without a diagnosis, sometimes the patients come, we are not diagnosed. They go to an allopathic doctor and they were not diagnosed. That is very common, right? Sometimes, see, if your disease manifests into a condition which has a name, until then you are not diagnosed. Maybe you will be given something to deal with the condition, but there is not a proper diagnosis or something concrete the doctor cannot tell you. So even in such patients, Nadi help you. It gives the indicators to come into a correct diagnostic approach according to Ayurveda. And sometimes the patients with identical modern diagnosis, the Ayurvedic therapeutic indicators may vary. So it helps us to, Nadi helps us to a personalized diagnosis than a generalized diagnosis. Like, for example, like I treat cancer patients. So 2 cancer patients come, maybe both are similar, maybe a breast cancer and metastasized into the liver. And a similar patient come, same breast cancer, Virat's 5 or 6, very similar, but 2 people, our diagnosis will be different according to Nadi. Even the prognosis will be different. So that is how it becomes a personalized diagnosis. And especially in my area, it plays a very important role because when it comes even to the Satya, prognosis of the patient, it is different. And also the way we address the case also depends on the therapeutic indication the Nadi gives. So you must be knowing how the Nadi Pariksha works. Nadi Pariksha understands the vibratory frequency of the pulse at various levels of the radial artery. And these subtle vibrations are read at different levels. There is superficial levels and there are deeper levels, vertically downward. And that helps us to find out various functions in the body. So when we examine the Nadi, it reveals both physical and mental characteristics of the, and also the levels. Can we mute?
Ma'am, sound is not clear. Ma'am,
Huh? Can you hear me properly?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Sound is not clear. Somebody is telling it may be their phone, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So whatever readings we take at different levels, this is interpreted in the form of symptoms along with their prognosis, and that helps us understand the root cause of the condition. See, many times, no, anatomically and physiologically and pathologically, that is how you understand the root cause of the disease in a modern diagnostic way. But when you have to treat with Ayurveda, then you have to understand the cause in the Ayurvedic way. Then the treatment becomes sensible for us. So like that, Nadi Pariksha forms the basis for addressing any kind of ailment in an individual. It is not necessary, it has to come out in a proper disease. Even at the stage of imbalance, we can address the condition. And it also becomes a tool that enables us to secure the personalized wellness regimes. See, many times when people come with imbalance, I will tell you what is imbalance. See, there are, very quickly, this is for non-Ayurvedic doctors. There are 5 elements with which all of us are made up of. So these 5 elements increases and decreases in our body in a daily basis, maybe in a momentary basis also. And this depends on our environment, our diet, the state of the mind. So these 5 elements, to make it more understandable, we consider it as 3 energies. This together forms as the 3 energies, the Vata, Pitta, Kapha, Dosha. So these doshas also, you are born with these doshas, and every physiology of you is taken care of by these 3 doshas. Like all the principles of movement is taken care of Vata, and all the principles of transformation is taken care of Pitta, and all the cohesion is taken care of Kapha. So that's how the whole physiology of the body works. And the whole, like, no, the body is controlled by the life force, and this life force is divided into 3. That way we can tell, like, all the functions which is carried by these 3 doshas run the whole system. So when it is balanced, then you are in a healthy state, and every physiology in the body works well. But when it is imbalanced, the physiology shows some change. Suppose you have constipation, that means your Vata is not working properly. You have burning in the system. You have, even it's a very small thing. No, usually we ignore it. So there is heat in the system, there is burning in the system. That means Pitta is imbalanced. And if there is heaviness in the system and there is no, and there is stagnancy in the system, that means Kapha is imbalanced. These imbalances get corrected on its own. But if you don't do anything about it, or if your body is not able to correct it on its own, then it becomes chronic imbalance. And even at that state, nothing is done, or the body is not able to handle it, then it manifests as a disease. So when you diagnose, what is important is to understand where the state of dosha is, whether everything is balanced or if there is any imbalance. If it is imbalanced, how much it is imbalanced, and where this imbalance is affecting in the body. Like if Vata is imbalanced, okay, you check the Nadi, you know where the Vata is imbalanced, and you now need to find in which area it is imbalanced, which system it is affecting. Maybe Vata is imbalanced, it is affecting in the digestive system, then your treatment is different. So if it is affecting the nervous system, the treatment is based according to that. And if it is affecting the, suppose it is affecting the intestines, or if it is affecting the heart, then it is different. So this differential diagnosis is based on the Nadi which you pick up. And then if it is, so how this is important is, once the doshas are imbalanced and some symptoms start manifesting in the patient, then before it reaches a disease, we have the tool to handle that. So that is the significance of Nadi Pariksha. Otherwise, with a proper diagnosis, a patient come, then again it comes into play in the way I have mentioned before, to get a personalized diagnosis. And this will help us to plan wellness regimes like personalized diet or lifestyle program, detox, whatever is needed at that time. And Nadi Pariksha also help us about the future health risk, so that corrective measures can be taken to minimize it and possibly avoid it. So in a conventional form of diagnosis, doctor find out, read all your prior medical reports, ask you questions, and that is how, based on both clinical history and the investigations, you come to a diagnosis. So this is an additional, suppose you are not an Ayurvedic doctor, but other stream of doctor, Nadi Pariksha becomes an additional tool for you to get details about the current health condition, which you cannot get by asking the person, or you cannot get it through the investigations. So that adds to your diagnostic capability. So there is 8-fold examination. It is called Ashtasthana Pariksha. So there are 8 diagnoses done. Out of that, Nadi is something very, very peculiar. And other than the gross aspect, the subtle aspect of Nadi and the Nadi Pariksha and the Nadi Parikshak is also very important. Because Nadi, the word Nadi, Nadi means pulse. It also means river. There are many meanings to Nadi. If we are aware about the Nadis, 72,000 Nadis, which is throughout the body, throughout the subtle body actually. We know mostly about the Sthula Sharira or the gross body. So similar to gross body, a blueprint of the gross body, there is subtle body that is called Sukshma Sharira. We have heard Sthula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira, and Karana Sharira, causal. So for us, what matters is Sthula Sharira and Sukshma Sharira. Many times we get stuck in Sthula Sharira. We are not aware of what is happening in the subtle body, and we are not bothered about that. But here, that makes us a better, if you have an access to what is happening in the Sthula Sharira, what is happening in the Sukshma Sharira, that helps us to be a more efficient doctor. So subtle body, you will be knowing about the subtle body if you are meditating. If you're a meditator, it is, that time you get access to the subtle body. Sometimes you are not a meditator also, you get an access. That what I believe is because of the past life impressions. One lifetime you must have been a meditator. So this lifetime, even if you're not a meditator, sometimes people share, they understand what is happening in the subtle body. But once you start meditation, which I think is very important for a doctor. Meditation is very important for a doctor because of 2 things. One is, for a diagnosis, you need a very clear intellect. That happens with meditation. And even for treatment, there are so many treatment options in any field. Even though you have a standard protocol of addressing one type of disease, your decision matters a lot, how you decide the treatment. I feel that, especially in my field, with cancer patients, I see that. So that is why right now we always say, take a different opinion and let us see if another doctor can handle this in a better way. So that means that moment of taking decision or moments of taking decision about the treatment is very important. For what the doctor's mind should be very clear and intellect should be very clear. This is possible very easily through meditation. So that's why I believe all the doctors should be meditating. And especially for Nadi Pariksha, you need to have a meditative mind. Otherwise, it is so subtle, Just to check your own pulse, or if somebody is there next to you, Just 1 minute. This is an exercise for you. Just look at take the nadi. Just you don't have to know where you have to keep and all. Just keep it 1 finger below the radial tuberosity. One finger below this crease. No, this crease you see. Just keep it and see what is happening under your fingers. Then you will know. Then you will know how this is different. You can do that. Just keep your eyes closed and see, observe what is happening under your fingers. Okay, now you can come back. So this is so subtle, right? You know something is happening, some vibrations are felt under your fingers. So now you have to assess so many things. You have to see the volume of the pulse, you have to see the rate of the pulse, you have to see the rhythm of the pulse, you have to see where it is, where the pulse is coming and spiking. So all these needs a lot of subtlety. That subtlety can gain, you can gain that subtlety only when you meditate. That is why in our intense Nadi Pariksha training, we transform you to that subtlety with a lot of meditations and lot of processes. So Nadi is called the Jiva Sakshini, the witness of all the living processes. So it helps, it gives you the totality of all the vital functions of the body at the time of examination, and also the trends in the future, and also what happened in the past, because all this gives valuable suggestions to the current status of the patient. So the assumption is that the nadi pulsate characteristically differently under the influence of one dosha, two dosha, or all the three doshas. And these differences is of great value in diagnosis. The sum total of all the whole impression we get, the physician get through the degrees of abnormality in the pulse. Because due to the different imbalance in the doshas, that is what help you to estimate to find out the diagnosis or the prognosis. So we find out which is the imbalanced dosha, and to the extent to which they are respectively imbalanced, and also the further complications or application it happens. Like for example, vata is deranged and it is affecting the nerve system, and it can manifest as a movement disorder later on stage. So this is one type of diagnosis we arrive at. Or if it is a pitta imbalance and it is affecting the liver, and if it is left untreated, it can help to the damage of the liver later on. So, as we told about the Jiva Sakshini, so that is a subtle aspect of the Nadi. It is very surprising, no, in the Agastya Nadi, it is said, Nadiyanal Tudipalle, Tudipana Tudipella Nadiyalle. Whatever is the pulse, whatever the pulse you feel is not the Nadi. Anal Tridosho Malle. That means it is not the Tridosha also. So it breaks all our logic, because systematically we study, okay, if you get this pulsation, then this is the dosha which is imbalanced, and this is the area where it is affecting, this is the organ where it's affecting. Systematically, we learn the whole Nadi system, connecting it with the doshas. And what we are picking up is the pulse, the rate of the pulse, volume of the pulse, the rhythm of the pulse, the magnitude of the pulse. And we learn the whole science, logical science according to that. And here, Agastya Maharshi is telling it is not the pulse and it is not connected with the doshas. That means there is a deeper, subtle science that also we will learn. When we come here for the training, we will learn that also. That means there is a subtle aspect also into the whole science of Nadi. And to become proficient in this Nadi Pariksha, practice is important. It is like, no, practice means not this practice. Of course, this practice is also important. That practice is totally important, and knowing the technique, what is that we learn from that, what is the outcome of whatever you have picked up, all that. But equally important is the meditative samadhi, meditative state, which we call very deep meditative state, where the physician is capable of, it is said, you enter into the consciousness of the patient, or the consciousness of the patient and the doctor becomes one, and everything is revealed with the lamp of the wisdom. Jnana buddhi pradipena. That is how it is said. Vishati adurasya antaratmana. You, adura means the patient. So you get tuned into the consciousness of the patient, and then whatever is there in that body is revealed to you. That is what actually happens in the Nadi. So we need to know both. First is the whole science, technique-based science, and at the same time, this siddhi of knowing what is happening to the person who is sitting in front of you. See, when a patient come and sit in front of you, they come to you for help, because there is something going on in their body which they do not know, and they want to address it. And that is why the patient always comes to the Vaidya. So here you need to know, because you are the owner of the science of health. So here you need to know in and out of what is happening in this person. Of course, knowing, okay, this person, okay, kidney is damaged and the function is affected. That is a very gross understanding only. Of course, it has everything. It has a lot of value, but seeing more into it, which dosha has caused this, and how much extent of damage is there, how much it can be brought back. All this makes a complete diagnosis. This is where the Nadi Pariksha comes into importance. So this science, as I told you, it is mostly passed on through a Gurukula system. That what here also we maintain. You cannot learn it from the books, or if you cannot learn it from just from here and there. You have to learn it from a teacher. So because even if I told you, you just to keep it under the hand and observe. There are so many things. This you pick up, then you want to know whether this is correct or not. You need to validate. That only a trained guru can tell you. But if you just look into the books, we know the books, Sharngadara Samhita, that highlights the correlation between Nadi and Tridosha. It talks a lot. And then Bhava Prakasha talks a lot. And Yoga Ratnakara also it is there. And Maharishi Kanada has written, and Nadi Vigyan, Ravana Kriti is there. In Agastya Samhita it is there. And see, if you look into this science, it's a Vedic science, right? Anything belong to the Vedic lore is a Vedic science. And it has three parts. One is the Shastra, whatever is written down, and that we can learn. And also, second is Sampradaya, that I have already told you, know, 4 parts of India has 4 different Sampradaya. And then Anubhuda. Like when I am practicing for so many years, some techniques I have found, I have developed so many techniques, or I have found out, okay, this type of Nadi indicates very clear indication, this is the condition. So that is called Anubhuda. So that is what you learn from all this. You learn the Shastra, you learn the Sampradayas, and also you learn from whatever is Anubhuda from different Vaidyas. And it is not that like no Hastagata Nadi is only there. There are different places where Nadi is taken, but it's most prominent one. What is applicable for us is Hastagata Nadi. It is at the below the Manibandha. Manibandha is the wrist. Then there are 2 in the, so 2 in the hands and 2 in the legs are there, Padadvaya Gada Nadis. They are located around the ankle. And there is on both sides of the neck, Kantha Parshva Nadis are there. And there is also the Nasa Mula Gatis are there, Nasa Mula Gata Nadis are there, which is at the root of the nose. So Hastagata Nadi is usually what is practiced, because that is what which gives the knowledge about the health, and also about the lightness and of the Nadi. Most of the condition, disease related conditions, which we need to know, especially fever. Fever, as we know, fever is a very important diagnostic part in Ayurveda, because fever is the indicator of many other conditions. Fever is not only, we are not considering only the fever thing. It has that Nidana, that classification of disease is a very interesting study in Ayurveda. If you will, somebody, I have heard somebody telling, oh, in Ayurveda, they have only 18 diagnosed. That is because you do not know how to study it. You have to know to study the detail, and it has to be explained to you. Only then you will understand how the diagnosis, it is amazing way the diagnosis spread across these 18 conditions. Like if you take a small condition called cancer, some of the cancer cases is diagnosed as tumors, and some of it is considered as another classification of disease called Rakta Pitta. So like that, you cannot, that comparative study is very, very different. So Hastagata Nadi tells all these things, and even for Ajirna, Ama, indigestion, Amadosha, toxicity, the Agni, everything is found out from the Hastagata Nadi. And in the Kantagata Nadi, it is the different types of fever, Krishna, the thirst, and all the lung related dyspnea, fatigue, and conditions of the mind, fear, sorrow, everything is found from the Kantagata Nadi. And Nasa Nadi, generally ENT disorders, eye disorders, all that, and also prognosis for the knowing when is the death, all that. That is usually not taught. So there are, it is said, 1,72,000 nadis. It is also said 3.5 crores of nadis. So gross and subtle. It is throughout the human body, but the root is the umbilicus, Nabhi. And from the Nabhi, it spread upward, downward, and across. And out of these 3.5 crores of Nadi, 72,000 Nadis are very gross. And they carry the properties of the 5 sensory functions. And the subtle ones are again, 700 in number. And they carry the juice of the tissues. So this juice of the tissue is what decides your immunity. It decides your how long you will live all that. What is the quality of your life. So, and from that 700 again, 24 are there. And out of that, one of that reflects in our hand. That is what we are accessing. And in male, the Nadi is to the right side, and women to the left side we check. So, because it is connected to the Nabhi, the whole Nadi system, for females, it will be dominant in the left side. And for male, it is dominant in the right side. That is why it is, we follow that Shastra of seeing the left hand and right hand. There are some systems in which you see both the hands also. And also in some of the techniques, we see both the hands. So it is actually, the just the beginning how to find out is in the index finger, you get the Vata Nadi, in the middle finger, you get the Pitta Nadi, and in the ring finger, you get the Kapha Nadi. So when we press against the Nadi, the pressure, everything is very, we need to learn how much all that. When you gently press the Nadi, under the first finger, the movement that is diagonal in the part of the pulse, that resembles the state of the Vata. And second finger, this portion indicates the condition of the Pitta. And in the third finger, that is oblique movement, this indicates the condition of the Kapha. This is the basic. From here, we build up. That is how we see what is happening under your fingers. And generally, it is like, when you, once you find out the doshas, even at that part, it is complete. You can arrive at a diagnosis from that part with the help of other things. But the more details you go, your expertise, the detailed revelations make you arrive to a complete diagnosis. So there are so many rules of diagnosis. The best time is when it varies. The Nadi varies from the time of the day, because the energy in the body is varied throughout the day. Suppose morning, it is a heavy energy. You have to break through the heavy energy, because that Kapha time is dominant at that time. That is why all the exercise and activity, movement, cleansing, all that is mentioned at that time. And then the daytime start after 10 o'clock, and then there is a heat energy, which is dominant, very intense energy. You feel to do very intense activities. And then afternoon, it is again a lighter energy. You are not so intense that time. That is the Vata energy. So according to that, Nadi also changed. Kapha pulse is predominant in the morning time. Pitta is predominant during midday. And Vata pulse can be observed in the afternoon and evening. And then the same cycle repeats, Ratri. A day is divided into two, right? The daytime and the nighttime. So the daytime 12 hours is for activity and nourishment. And nighttime 12 hours is for detox and rest. And if this is not followed, it immediately reflects in the Nadi. So if you, you can just do this. You can just check your pulse throughout the day and see how the variation is. And modern medical science cannot explain the phenomenon of variation of pulse during different times in the day. But this is the reason, because the different time of the day, different dosha energy is variating, decreasing and increasing, or dominating or settling down. Because of that domination and settling down, that reflects in the nadi. That is how this phenomenon is explained. It also sometimes, it also is connected to planetary action and effect of moon and sun, which has a major control over the changing of the rhythmicity of the pulse. Even the pulse, during the full moon, new moon, everything there is change. And usually for a precise diagnosis, it is recommended that the diagnosis is done on empty stomach, either in the morning or 3 hours after the food. It again depends on what food you have. Lighter food, maybe little earlier. Because practically, sometimes you need to check people in other time also. But generally when we check nadi, we always prefer early in the morning. The reason is, after food metabolism process begin, the diagnosis process gets little distorted. It will be difficult for you to find out. That is it. And so the movements of the pulse, it is very interesting, Ayurveda is a science which is very much correlated to the nature. So the movement of the pulse, what we call gati, this is very prominent in Nadi Pariksha. That is what you learn first, as a first lesson. How the movement, if there is a mild movement or mandagati, and it's a madhya gati, that is moderate movement of the pulse, and the tikshna gati, sharp movement of the pulse, or fast movement of the pulse. So from this we find out what is the dosha affected, or which are the doshas. It is not that only one dosha, sometimes it can be 2 doshas, and sometimes it can be 3 doshas. And also this is connected to different animals in the nature, like kaka gati, it is, and sarpa gati is like a snake. The nadi moves like a snake in vata pulse, and it moves like a frog, manduga gati, in pitta pulse, and it moves like a swan in kapha pulse. So this you need to observe. You need to observe this means what. So it very clearly indicates, if you get a gati, the first thing you identify is, okay, this dosha is what is imbalanced. This is what, that becomes the first foundation of your diagnosis. Then we build upon that. And it is also connected to, we say, Brahma Nadi. Brahma Nadi is the Vata Nadi, and Shankara, Shiva Nadi, is the Pitta Nadi, and Vishnu is the Kapha Nadi. If you see also, they are so much related to different energies. Brahma is the creative energy, and Vishnu is the maintenance energy. And Vishnu it's all connected to your maintenance organ, like heart and lungs. Vishnu energy, if you can feel that in your chest area, in the maintenance area. And even if you see, there is an interesting connection with the herbs, like lotus. Lotus is, we usually worship Lord Vishnu with lotus. And in all our preparations, like Navakade Kalpa, it's a preparation which controls the blood pressure. Actually, we give it in heart blocks also. And it's a cardioprotective medicine. In that, lotus is a ingredient. So, and Tulsi also we used to worship Lord Vishnu. And Tulsi is also, it has a huge importance in respiratory health and cardiac health. So if you see that thing, like Bilwa is used to treat, no, midwives usually used to treat pitta disorders and also brain nervous system, all that toxicity. And it is used to worship Shiva. So there is a connection. So like that, you can see interesting connection. So that also reflects in the Nadi. These energies are reflected in the Vata Pitta Kapha Nadi. Oh, it is already 1 o'clock. You have some questions. If you want to ask some question, we can answer question. I cannot see all of you. That is the problem. Now I can see some of you. Okay, Dr. Shweta is there. Dr. Shweta, would you like to share some of your experience with Nadi Pariksha and
Yeah, Didi, I was just doing the Nadi Pariksha. I have a patient here. I just finished, he's just here with me. So, namaste to all the doctors here. Give me 2 minutes. So, I have learned Nadi Pariksha from Dr. Nisha Manikantan, and I call her Didi. And it was way back in 2014, beginning of 15. And since then, I have been practicing whichever way I can. And to tell you very, very frankly, personally, I have felt that Nadi has given me that lens to see a person in a very bigger perspective. So where I can clinically correlate to many of their psychosomatic issues. So that is that intuitive thing, that I have got from Nadi. And especially, I would say that, of course, the groundwork that we do is from the Vata, Pitta and Kapha. But Nadi says much, much more than that. So that intuition that you get, that clinical diagnosis as a clinician to plan the herbs, and even sometimes, when you practice Nadi, you get to know the herb that you have to prescribe. So it can take you to a different level. And I'm so thankful and grateful to my mentors and this path of meditation, which has bring so much of profoundness to the art of pulse diagnosis, which I think any Vedic lore is not complete without, including meditation in it. So the Nadi that we teach here in Shri Wellbeing is something which is very profound and which is very complete. And it has given me as a clinician a lot of insights in my clinical diagnosis. So thank you to Nisha Didi for that, and to all the mentors and Gurudev.
Thank you, Dr. Shweta. So it is so nice when you have a big army with you, no? Lot of Nadi doctors across the world. So we have only very few. Now you have to join and you have to make it a big army. We have Saurabh Parashar. Doctor, you want to share something?
Yes, ma'am.
So a young doctor from right now Calcutta.
Yes.
So
I learned Nadi Pariksha, I think 1.5 years back. And that time I was just about to enter the practice, and I had this thinking how to calculate so much thing and see it in the patient in that 5 minutes you get. So, when you slowly keep practicing, somehow you just know what exact questions to ask. Most of the things you already know. Once you're in the Nadi, 80% you're sure these are the things. And some confirmatory questions you can ask, and that big 5 years of your theory, you can just bring it to these 3 fingers. So that has been my experience. And of course, like you heard that many times intuitively, you know much more than what you thought you can diagnose.
okay, thank you, doctor.
Yes.
I can see Dr. Vaijendi. आप कुछ बोलेंगे? कुछ experience share करना है? आप म्यूट में है शायद. डॉक्टर वी कैन नॉट हियर यू, आप म्यूट में है, आप बात कर रहे हैं, मुझे देख रहे हैं लेकिन म्यूट में है.
Hello, can
Ah,
you
yeah,
hear me?
yeah, Abhi.
Ah, so thank you, Jai Gurudev, and I am very, very thankful to you, Nisha ji, for teaching us Nadi. And I am finding it very wonderful. I am so happy that I learned it. And it is very, very useful in diagnosing the patients. Patients are getting astonished. How come you know these things? We don't. You can diagnose the things. Even my students are very astonished. And I am taking now, I have completed 100 cases.
Oh, nice.
And now I am taking 2 medical camps on 19th and 26th with Art of Living, Shri Shri Tattva. So I am very happy.
You learned 2
And
months.
it is very much helping in diagnosis and for treatment also.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
You learned 2 months back.
Yeah.
Ah.
In July, last month only. Yeah, last month we have completed.
Ah. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Someone else want to share something? I cannot see all of you. Dr. Uday is there. Right? Uday, some of you must be in the clinic, right? Okay.
Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev.
Jai
You want to-
Gurudev.
Hmm.
I'm so happy and I want to say thankful to you and Lokesh ji for being my mentor. And as I completed my Nadi and I reached Mumbai and next day I started to see the patients. And I'm seeing it gives a big perspective as a doctor for your career as a Nadi. And it is very helpful. Many times when going to camps, the people are saying, "Are you an astrologer?" So it is a very different experience. How you come to know? Many times they are not open up, but as we started something, regarding to positive them, then they open up and they mix with you like a family members. And really, it's only the grace that is working. So again, I want to say thank you, all my mentors, and especially to you, because last 3-4 days of Nadi when Nisha madam came and whatever she taught us, it was very very helpful for Nadi during whole the Nadi training. Thank you, Nisha. Thank you.
Thank you, doctor. Yeah. Oh, Dr. Shraddha ji is there.
Yes,
Shraddha
Jai Guru
Then
Ji.
I doctor. So we would sit here.
I'm travel. Can I keep the video off and talk?
Yeah,
Will
yeah.
it be okay? Okay. Firstly, thanks to Gurudev. Thanks to you and the whole team. I also did Nadi Pariksha training 2 months before, and I have completed around 30-40 cases till now. And one thing I would like to share with you all is knowledge is amazing. You know, whatever stream of healthcare we are all are following, this is an added knowledge and an ancient proven knowledge. So we need not talk whether it is authentic or not. It is very, very authentic. And it can also help in our practice wherever we are practicing for in whatever health field. And there are some very amazing experiences I'll share in a few minutes. Firstly, I got my Nadi Pariksha done before the session started. And I followed it for a few days. And during all those 15 days, I was able to understand myself better. So that gives a very good impact. It has given a very good impact on understanding few things about others also. And it has definitely helped in whatever 40 cases I have seen till now. And I have seen in myself so many changes after taking the given prescribed medicines and the tips, small tips that were given. about dincharya, about other things. And it is very helpful, not only for others, but for, as doctors, for you all also, because somewhere we all don't take care of ourselves and we are always busy in taking care of others. And nobody thinks that a doctor needs care, isn't it? But whole life, the moment we enter college, we are just serving others only. We have never served ourselves. So it is a good for self-practice also and for others also. Second amazing thing that I could feel was the pulse that we see for BP, blood pressure also. And in the people I have seen in past few days and earlier also, I have found that this has helped a lot. And the amount of confidence they gain after that, and following the small tips in day-to-day life, and even the daily herbs which we have found at every home also, they have helped a lot in improving their conditions. And this has boosted their confidence in life and in us also, and in the Nadi Vigyan also. And the third thing, the syllabus is amazing, and we all should be doing it. And it will be an asset to oneself and for others also. And when we talk about India and Indian heritage, this is something we all need to preserve and take responsibility for. Okay. Thank you, Nisha ji. Thank you, everyone. And the team is amazing. Thank you, Anish ji. Thank you, everyone. Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev. Thank you, doctor. So, anyone else want to share? So Gurudev has been always emphasizing on the importance of integrated approach. That is what now. See, after all these years, like Dr. Shraddha and so many of our doctors who are already like devotees, meditating doctors, they always used to ask, we want to learn. Then you don't have the background of Ayurveda, how will you learn all that? But we were very seriously thinking how to involve. It's always good, no? I always feel when you involve more people, our strength increase, no? It is always team Sankha matters. So then just few months back, Gurudev blessed. We asked whether we can open to all the doctors, anyone in the medical field. And the blessing which came, with so much, when Gurudev bless any program with lot of love and with lot of blessing, you can immediately feel, okay, now this is going to be a big movement. So that is what is going to happen. And first, this batch of other stream of doctors, we were just waiting and watch how they will receive it, how they will process it, how we are going to deliver it, all that. But everything happened very gracefully, and they are taking it so well. And they are only inventing new ways how to do it. And we are also thinking a lot. We are inventing new ways how you will use this Nadi Pariksha. And for an Ayurveda doctor, of course, it is said without knowing Nadi, you should not see patient. That is what is said. So all the Ayurveda doctors out there, just you don't wait, you just come. And all of you. So now, I think it's too long we are talking. I will give you a small homework to do. You can do that. I feel you are already students. So something with your first time we are doing. I know you, it is like, no, you can take Nadi anyway. You are doctors, you can just check. Just start observing what is under the fingers. Few things I will tell, you can write down. So till you come for Nadi Pariksha, you can keep on doing this. Let's see. Something from far also can happen, no? So you can write down. You just write down, and then I will explain to you what to do. So you write down Vata, measured with the index finger. Gati is like a cobra, snake. Gati is like a snake, sarpagati. Speed and the way it moves, that's called gati. Rhythm is irregular. Tension and volume is low. Force is low, that I told, right? Now you write pitta. Felt under middle finger. Gati is like a frog, mantuka. Mantuka. Rhythm is regular. Force is high. Tension and volume is also high. Kapha is felt under the ring finger. Gati is Hamsagati, swan. Rhythm is regular. Balam is moderate. Force is moderate. Volume and tension is also moderate. So based on this, simply, very innocently, you just keep on checking. Keep on checking and just see how you can identify what is happening under your finger. Okay. So consider your journey has.
Excuse me, ma'am, I just had logged out for a while. So the tension and volume and force for the kapha nadi is both of them. It's moderate. The force and this is moderate.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. For pitta it is high, for vata it is low, and for kapha it is moderate.
Okay.
This is just a beginning lesson. Huh? You just start, and whatever you find out, whatever your observation, everything you write down. And observe what is happening. The spandan, the pulsation appears and it disappears. It reappears. All that you will observe. Just keep on observing. Then once you come, during the training, you will get to understand everything. And even you can different time of the day you can see, and Yeah, that two exercises enough for you to begin with. Okay, so we can wind up. We can, when we come together, we should meditate little bit, no? We can meditate a little bit. Yeah, a short meditation we can do. Before that, we can do a mudra. Just do this mudra. Bend your index finger and keep it at the root of the thumb. Hold the index finger with the thumb, and then you keep it above your lap. And then sit with the eyes closed. Sit comfortably with the eyes closed. I'll give instruction. You can just follow that. Sit with the eyes closed. Take a deep, long breath in. And breathe out. Very slowly breathe out. And continue deep, long breath in and out. Continue for few minutes. Keep on taking deep, long breath in and out. If you know Ujjayi, breathe in Ujjayi. If you do not know, it's fine. You take deep, normal breath in and out. Continue deep, long breath in and out. Breathe normally. And observe your breath. It can be light or heavy. It can be fast or slow. Don't do anything about it. Let the breath flow in and out. On its own. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. Relax your hands. And gently you may open your eyes. Was it good? How many of you feel your mind is settled down? No. We just sat 3-4 minutes only. When we meet, we will do deep meditations. Okay, so thank you so much. Jai Gurudev. Yeah, Anishji, we will end the session. You want to share something? We'll meet very soon.